Okay, why is society confused about what a woman is, but quick to define what a man is and should be doing? Interesting question. I'll leave that open-ended. Anybody, ladies, want to answer that?
What's the question again?
Why is society confused about what is a woman, but quick to define what a man is and should be doing?
Like a real man.
Because women are confusing, and we don't really know for real.
I think society's equally confused about both of them. I don't think that, like...
I just think women more emotional than men. Like, that's just...
Okay, well, let me... Okay, what do you... Who do you think has more concrete gender roles today? Which gender has more concrete gender roles that they're expected to adhere to? Men or women?
Can you explain that a little better?
Today?
Yeah. Can you explain that question better?
Okay, I'll ask it again. Which gender, between men or women, has more concrete gender roles that they're expected to stick to? Men or women?
Men. I feel like men.
Hold on, I'll go around.
I feel like it's equal.
If you had to pick one, even if it's a 51-49%, who do you think has more concrete gender roles that they're expected to stick to by society?
I'm going to still go with equal because we hold men to certain standards and requirements when it comes, and men do too. So,
do you think men hold women to the same strictness of standards that women are held to?
I just feel like it's equal.
Interesting. Okay, just real quick, we can do a raise of hands. How many do you think men are more held to their gender role standards? Okay, that's a majority. And then two of you think women, you think it's the other way around? Women are held to their standards more?
I think it's more so equal, just in very different ways.
So you think it's equal too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depending on what's the topic.
Okay, so tell me why you think it's equal.
I just feel like there's a lot of different examples that you can think of for either side as to gender roles that are still enforced today.
Okay, I disagree with both of you, and I'll tell you why. I think with men, right, if you're not like masculine, have your shit together financially, in the gym, training, etc., they're going to call you a soy boy, they're going to ridicule you, you're going to be made fun of, etc. Like, there's real world ramifications for not performing as a man. However, and I'll take the female side here in a second to show you why it's not 50-50. On the female side, though, if you act like a boy, or if you're more masculine and you chase a career and you make money, etc., society rewards you for that. They say, go get your bag, be successful, etc. So if you behave like a man, you're respected. And if you behave like a woman, you're still respected, because they'll be like, oh, she's a feminine woman, she's attractive. Like, some girls might shame you because it's like, oh, you don't have an education, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it's to the same degree as if you're a man and you don't get your shit together. Because if you're a woman, whether you're masculine or if you're feminine, you can still find a dude. But as a dude, if you're just a pussy, a lot of women aren't going to take you seriously.
Correct.
The thing is
that's
like,
correct.
like, basically what I'm trying to say is there's more consequences for you as a man if you don't stick to your roles, versus as a woman, there aren't as many consequences. So that's why I don't think it's equal, but I'll turn it to you guys.
So let me ask you something. I don't know if you're in a relationship or not. What, if you was to get into a relationship, what are you expecting from your woman?
Well, I do have a girlfriend. I do have a main girl, but she.
So what expectations do you hold her to?
A main girl. Don't skip past that.
You happy? What do you expect her to continue doing?
Well, I mean,
from what you was raised, what you was taught, and what you was,
her job is to be happy and not be a pain in the ass for it to me.
And what is that? Explain yourself.
Let me ask.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Answer the question.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah, I mean, her job is to be happy and not be a pain in the ass, and help me out with things that I need. She helps me manage my real estate. She helps me with my other YouTube channel. I have a true crime YouTube channel that I do. She helps me with the research for that. She makes sure miscellaneous bullshit with my real estate stuff, because I got like 20 properties, 50 plus tenants. So she makes sure the water bills and all that dumb shit is paid. She coordinates with my parents because they help manage my real estate in Connecticut. So she does a lot of things behind the scenes and helps me out with that stuff. I don't think she works for me, basically.
Well, you said main girl.
Yeah, she works for me. I don't think women should work.
Put your women on, period.
I don't think women should work, and if they do, I think they need to work for their man if they do have a job.
Is that not a gender role that you're imposing on women today? Is that not a gender role that you're imposing on women? And here's the thing.
Yeah, I impose it, right? But that's because I'm a traditionally masculine guy. I would argue a majority of men are not traditionally masculine men, and they don't put these same standards on women. Most guys don't have the balls to stand up to their girl and tell them, I need you to do X, Y, Z. Most guys kind of are happy just to have a girl take them seriously. And that's what I mean when I say female gender roles are not reinforced because the men don't reinforce them on the women. It's the women can act however they want, and they don't put boundaries on that. But on the other hand, it's not the other way around.
I think that generally speaking, a lot of the people that will call men soy boys and shit on them for being not traditionally masculine are the same people that shit on women for chasing their bag and being masculine and not wanting to adhere to
it's guys like me, but we're a minority.
Okay, exactly. So those people is what I'm saying are the ones that shit on quote unquote soy boys. And a lot of women today, I think, also are into more feminine guys. Like in my experience, I mean, in my generation at least, that is very much the case.
Okay, so
can we break down feminine guys? What does that mean?
Guys that are more
in tune with their emotions.
More guys that are more
Hey, girl.
they don't prioritize fitness as much. They don't prioritize financial getting money and being a provider. They think that, they should go half and half with their woman. Guys that are more egalitarian, so to speak, more equal, 50-50 guys. Now,
but that's like feminist guys. That's not even necessarily just like generally feminine dudes. Like I know a lot of feminine dudes that also adhere to some, norms that are currently socially
How would you define
accepted.
a feminine guy then? How would you define that?
I think it's more related to just like expressing both aspects of yourself, like the feminine and the masculine, with a little bit less inhibition as to like how it looks socially. I think that a lot of guys are more internally feminine than they think, and that they like act in a way that represses that a lot of the time, just like unconsciously.
We can talk about the feminization of men, but I mean, just to stick to the topic at hand. Remember, it was which gender, right, is punished for not adhering to the roles more.
Men.
And I argue that men are, because if I'm a guy, right, and I am one of these, let me be 50-50, or let me like have a more feminine take on things, etc. Like, women aren't going to be as attracted and as aroused by me as if I were to be more traditional. But a woman, on the other hand, can be, let me prioritize my education, let me prioritize making money, let me act like a guy, be like a dude, whatever. She can still find dates. Like, she still has options, right? That man that acts more feminine doesn't have as many options as that woman that acts masculine. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, society doesn't punish women for behaving like men, but society absolutely punishes men for behaving like women.
Correct.
We don't have the same mating options that you do, right? Does that make sense, kind of?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just feel like the part that you're asserting about, you having less options as a guy if you don't adhere to gender roles as strictly than a woman, like what is that based on?
There's a multitude of different things. So like if you look at dating apps, right? That's a very basic one. Most men struggle on dating apps. If you're going to talk about marriage rates, have been plummeting, right? Divorce rates are high. Women are initiating it. Most men struggle with finding a girl, right? Most guys, I forget which study it was. I think it was either in 2018 or 2020. Study came out saying that like 1 in 3 men is either sexless or a virgin, hasn't had sex in years, a virgin. So,
sounds right.
A lot of guys really struggle with women. And I mean, hell, I can go around the table here. Do you talk to most men that try to approach you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Wait, say that again.
Do you give most men the time of day that try to talk to you?
No.
Most men?
Yeah.
No.
No, right?
I don't really go outside.
Okay.
You're a hermit.
You give most men that talk to you the time of day.
Yeah, because
No, you don't.
I actually do.
You're dealing with rappers. There's no way. You give.
I actually do.
You give regular niggas a chance?
Yes, I do.
Okay, fantastic.
Wait, they can smash you?
Not smash me, but they can have a conversation. I'm big on.
Okay, I'm not talking about. Okay,
actually
okay.
What kind of
serious.
opportunity?
All right,
what
girls will
kind
talk
of
to anybody. Okay, let me
easy.
rephrase because okay, let me
No.
rephrase that. I mean, as in
easy.
actually having a real chance with you, not just talking to him to get some out of him or attention or whatever. Because girls love attention, right? I'm talking about a dude that you're like, okay, I can actually date this motherfucker.
Like, that's my man.
Yeah.
That's my man.
Depending on how they is.
Okay, so would you say that's a majority or a minority of men?
Majority.
You have high standards?
Yes, I do.
So then if you have
I'm all personality. You can look any type of way as long as you have a good
if you have high
personality.
standards, by definition, that means the majority of men don't measure up.
Right, but maybe
that make
initially
sense?
they do. So
That's
she
what I'm
gives
saying.
them the
Like, I
time
met
of
a
day.
lot of dudes who actually meet standards.
But if you have high standards, that means by definition that a majority of men don't rise up because most men are not high to your standards.
Nobody
that
takes me
make
that's
sense?
not to my standards, so I wouldn't know.
Okay. All right. We'll move on. I don't think you see the math.
I hear what you're saying though, but
If you have high standards, that by definition that means most men don't qualify for you.
I mean I don't text back. So if I text you back, you got my standards.
That's my point.
Okay, so yeah,
So,
you're right.
so yes.
So I say
Yes.
like a 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God.
majority.
Okay.
We got you.
What about,
Depends.
You're lesbian, but if you do get with a guy, he's got to probably be very good looking, have a bunch of stuff going on for himself. Okay, he's got to be a full package. What about you?
I agree 100%.
So majority of men are not attractive to you.
Not really.
Okay, what about you?
Same.
Majority of men aren't.
Correct.
Thanks. What about you?
No.
No?
No, I don't give them time.
There
of
you
day.
go. So even at the here at the table, everyone here is pretty damn selective. So that's what I mean when I say most men struggle with women.
And I would,
Yo, for
I would
sure. I
argue
think
as
that's
well.
true, but I don't know if that's a product of purely gender roles and like the rejection of them.
No, it absolutely is because
yeah.
women look, and I'll tell you why. That it's a component to it. The reason why
It's definitely a component, I agree.
it's a significant component because when women look at men, right? Like men are more interested in what I call replication value. Is she hot? Can she give me good children? Women, on the other hand, are looking at it from a more they're looking at it from a does the guy have resources? Mm-hmm. From a resource angle, can this guy provide for me and children? So we look at the opposite gender differently. So like most men are, let's be honest here, are not in a position to take care of themselves, let alone a woman and a family.
Yeah.
So that is why so many men are disqualified because they don't have their shit together financially.
Correct.
And then you also got to understand, ladies, like, right, when a man accomplishes certain things financially, he builds certain characteristics that make him attractive.
Right.
He's more assertive. He's more dominant.
Right.
He understands how to network and talk to people. He understands how to convey himself properly. He doesn't talk like a fucking retard. Yes. Like, he's able to convey himself in an attractive manner, and he has more worldly experience. These are all things that women look for in men. So, so that's something that's missing, especially with your generation of guys that are Gen Zers. They don't understand how to talk to people. Social media, you can blame it to that degree as well. But also, I'll blame it like the feminization of men, which you were talking about before. I blame a good amount of that on feminism itself because feminism lies to men and tells them women want an equal partner. I disagree with that. I don't think women want an equal partner. I think they want a superior partner. So that is why I don't buy the bullshit. And that's why I said, with my chick, for example, you work for me. What I say goes, and this is how it goes. Like, she doesn't talk back to me or none of this bullshit. I'm the final decision maker.
Okay.
I don't believe in equality in relationships at all.
I mean, if you take care of her, she got to. She got no choice.
Hey, if you a boss, you a boss.
I mean,
But with
it
that
makes
said-
her want to more
Yeah.
easily.
I'm like,
Correct.
yeah, if you provide,
That
and then
makes
you
her want
really
Now, with that
like
said, don't get it twisted. I listen to her opinion. However,
right.
And her suggestions. However, I make the final decision. If it doesn't make sense or whatever, I'll just be, no, we're not doing that. Whatever. So
that's reasonable.
she gets my ear, but I make the final decision. But there's a lot of relationships out there where men will sit there and concede to what their woman wants, which I think is a problem. That's a big mistake. I don't think women should ever lead relationships ever. So anyway,
I feel like they should voice their
Do you
opinions.
feel
though.
like
Every female should have
culture
voice.
and like generation plays a part too, or no?
I
you
feel
said culture and generation.
Like,
I
say
think
for
so.
instance, if you like, where are you from?
Oh, my family's from Sudan.
Okay,
It's an Arab Middle Eastern country.
and where is she from? Do you feel like
She's from Venezuela.
okay? So do you feel like you guys different backgrounds and cultures plays a
No,
part
no,
too?
no, no. Her father is very
Okay.
similar to me, actually.
Okay.
She came from a two-parent household. Her father's like me. He's very, he's like, hey, this is what it is. No, I think culture does play a role in it, obviously. But, we live in a very secular world at time nowadays, right? Like,
Right.
people don't really acknowledge religion like that. And with religion, a lot of times, traditional conservative roles take place.
Right.
So I think there's a bunch of different reasons as to why we are where we are now. But I do think that feminism is a root cause for a lot of the problems we have socially.
Question.
Yeah.
By men being feminine men, you think that
Feminine.
Feminized, right, is what you're trying to ask?
Yeah.
By men being feminized?
By men being feminized, do you think that, like, not even their woman itself, like, if your woman family was to meet you and by you being say whatever you just said again, men, how you think they'll feel upon that? Like, you get what I'm saying?
They wouldn't have a problem.
Why not though?
Because-
If it's a problem for a female, why shouldn't it be a problem?
Well, she
for their
comes from a
parent?
Christian household,
Oh.
so they understand that the man's the leader.
Okay.
And this is with all Abrahamic religions, like whether it's Islam, Judaism, Christianity, every major religion always is basically a patriarchy.
I agree on that.
I mean, real quick.
I agree on that.
Ladies in here, would you prefer someone to pay your bills or split half with them? Raise your hand.
Pay
Pay
my
your
bills,
bills.
daddy. I
Raise your
love
hand.
you.
Pay your bills, right?
We could phrase it. Would you prefer a man that's a provider or a man that you can go 50-50 with? Raise of hands if you prefer a provider. Raise of hands.
Like, pay your
Are you,
bills.
are you saying 50-50 like
I rate
preference
two.
is-
No. Provider as in he
Provide, baby.
pays the majority of the real
Majority.
bills. Or would you prefer a 50-50? So first we'll say, do you prefer a provider?
Raise your hand.
Raise of hands.
I have a caveat.
Majority.
Okay.
I do.
A majority. What's your...
But if I could be the nigga with the money, that's cool too.
Oh, really?
But then you want to
If-
lead.
if that's
Hold
the
on. But then
case-
you want to lead your man then?
No, I don't want to lead. But if I
So-
have to be the nigga with the money to like
But
for
if you don't,
myself,
but if you don't have to,
if I don't have to,
Okay,
baby.
you see how you kind of counteract though? Like,
But that's
This is what I mean when I say
no.
feminism doesn't make sense. So like you do realize like you just completely contradicted yourself, right?
I'm a Libra, so I see both sides, though. You see me like I'm single
Bruh.
right now, so right now, yes, of course, I'm handling everything. But when I have a man, baby, take over.
Yeah, but you would not
Take
want to be
over.
with a man where you're
Provide.
paying his bills and
Oh,
providing
no,
for
no,
him.
no.
That's what he's asking.
But right, I just explained it. Didn't I?
Okay, we
I didn't explain it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
No, he asked you specifically, would you be with a man where you're taking care of the financial burden?
No.
Okay. All right.
We
That's
good?
what he was asking.
That's
So
what I thought.
you answered it differently.
Oh, okay. How did I answer it? Because
You said I could be the nigga and I could pay the bills.
no, I was saying
You meant
for
that when you're
myself,
single.
When I'm single. When I'm
Okay.
single.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
you didn't
But
clarify
I
that.
wouldn't have a problem
Okay.
like helping him out if he's not going to proceed to be able to provide for me after all.
And how long would you do that for?
Not too long.
It all depends because if
Don't
I
wait.
see like I'm providing and you just trying to leech off
You
me.
said a magic word. You said depends.
Yeah. No.
That is why women can't be in leadership roles. See what I mean? It's like, could
Too
you imagine if you're with a
indecisive.
man, right, and he's taking care of you, you think he's gonna say some shit like, hey, how long are you gonna take care of your girl? Oh, it depends.
We do
See
contradict.
how we're different?
We
Like,
do contradict.
that doesn't even come to my mind. Oh, it depends. Let's say like what? Like no, that's my job. That's my duty as a man. But like for women, it's like if you guys are in a provider role, the time clock is always going on when that provider role is gonna finish, and you find a guy that can actually provide.
Yeah.
That is
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
So
Who's weighing down on me?
now you're trying to. Oh, what's your caveat? This is interesting.
So if the 50-50 or if the 50-50 implies that like it's 50-50 in general and ideas are equally taken into account and he's not
But
like
you raised
the-
your hand for a provider, so you prefer the
Hold on.
50-50 then?
Wait. If that's that side and then the man paying the bills means that he's also like the leader and like doesn't, he calls the shots and shit,
Yeah.
then I would take the 50-50.
Okay.
Agreed.
So
But-
you would take the breadwinner. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay. So you would
Yes.
take the breadwinner, but only if you had an equal say.
Yeah, but only if we're like distributing things in a way that makes sense and is not just like
So he has so let me get this straight. He would have 100% of the responsibility but half of the authority.
but also I would have different responsibilities. Like that's just like the way that it works. I would probably, generally speaking, have a household that either has at least one joint bank account and a lot of the funds are just pooled. But like if the choice is man that runs the house but also pays the bills and man that does not run the house and also doesn't pay the bills, I'm choosing the one that doesn't run the house and doesn't pay the bills that I
Okay,
pay
you
half and
just
half with.
confused me.
Oh, man,
She's saying
confused.
basically like she don't want a man to have 100% control over her. She want to
100%.
have half,
100%.
50
Like, he can provide for her, but she still got to have her own opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
What? Okay. This is what I took from what you said. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Confusing.
It's
as a man.
the two scenarios. The first scenario is he makes all the money, but you want 50% of saying it. That's the first one. Or if he says no, you don't get no fucking saying it. You want it. You would prefer the 50-50, where
Yes.
you bring half the money, he brings half the money, and you guys have equal say.
Right.
Okay. So I'll be honest with you. The first one, that's not a realistic scenario.
Yeah, it's not.
You cannot have.
It is, a lot of people have that.
No,
where
they
they
don't.
just
Hold
No,
on,
no,
hold
they
on,
don't.
hold on.
No, they don't.
Are you there
Okay.
24/7?
What do you mean am I
It
there
sounds good. It
24/7?
sounds like they're doing that, but they're really not. Because on
What do you-
paper, you're saying like, for example, if they can do 50-50,
Oh, am I
right?
in this situation?
Yeah, it sounds like it, but in
Yeah,
reality, never happens that way.
Here's the thing, man. And this is kind of like a ideal like mindset, but it's not real. Like, if someone has 100% of the responsibility, aka bringing in the money, taking care of you, whatever, it's ludicrous to tell them you only have 50% of the authority. My word matters just as much as yours. That's ridiculous, and that's just not how the world works. If I have 100% responsibility, that means I have also 100% authority. Now, what you're saying is, well, I want it to be equitable. Cool. Well, if you want it to be equitable between the two and equal, more egalitarian mindset, then you would have to bring half the financial things. But what I would
That's not
argue,
a problem for me, though.
and that's fine.
cool.
You say that now. But you say that now.
You know.
You say that now. You're 19 years old, so I'm not gonna like try to shit on you. But what I'm saying is that I promise you, as you get older, your standards on men are gonna go up, and you're gonna be less okay with a 50-50 trade-off with the man. Because what I've realized with women is like, if they go 50-50 with a man, yeah, they'll tolerate it for a bit. But most girls don't want to do that, especially if you get older. You want to have children, etc. It's very difficult to work a full-time job while also rearing children. And then, yeah, you could always put them in childcare and everything else like that. But why do you want strangers dealing with your kids, especially in today's crazy world?
Also,
But yeah,
think about this.
Dang, dude.
In reality, right, it is never really 50-50. Think about this. Feel me?
It's true.
Now, granted though, let's say we're being equal here.
Uh-huh.
What if you're also to be drafted too, as a man? Because you want it to be equal,
What?
right? Like
What do you
being
mean?
drafted.
Well, okay, wait. Let's just the basis of I am very likely going to end up marrying a woman and paying half and half anyways.
So then why
because I think
you
that's
care
just-
then?
I don't. I'm just answering the questions. I'm trying to.
Okay.
I feel like men, because I come from men being the provider, so yeah. And men are already like have that dominant mindset, so it's just like you can't take that from them.
I mean, we can all agree in a perfect world.
Not all.
I was gonna say.
That's a minority of guys. Most guys will sit there and, you know, listen to what their girl says and, you know, let her lead and wear the pants in a relationship.
Because they don't know how to
But
live.
I'm speaking on being a
50-50.
provider though.
Oh, you're talking about
But
specifically
let's,
Yeah.
provider men?
let's be real here though. A lot of guys aren't providers nowadays. So as a
Yeah,
result,
that's a minority of men nowadays,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
But that's why I said, do y'all feel like
merge.
generation and culture plays a part in that, or
100%.
no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
does.
Yeah.
It does. It absolutely does. I mean, yeah, religion plays a part in it. Culture plays a part in it. Background
Family.
plays a role in it. Family, all of that.
So
you know?
right now, what y'all feel like is the most important thing that plays a part in a man feeling like he needs to be a provider, or y'all feel like men don't care to be providers at this day of age?
a majority of men don't care to be providers nowadays.
part.
No,
Why
no.
you feel
Yeah.
like that?
Why not?
I'm
I mean,
saying
there's
like
a multitude of reasons why.
She's asking what's the biggest contributor? to,
It's
like,
feminism.
Yeah.
I'll say feminism is by far the biggest contributor as to why men no longer want to be providers, because women run around and say, I mean, hell, let's go back literally 15 minutes ago on this podcast. We asked you, do you need a man? A majority of you said no. So let me ask you a question. If, I'll use this analogy. Let's say you're walking down the street, right? We give the dream world
Soundbite.
shit. Soundbite.
Stupid.
Sorry, man, that was me.
Yeah, because you're.
Oh yeah, oh that's for you, stupid. Okay, let's say you're walking down the street, right, and you see an old lady, and she's like fucking struggling with some grocery bags.
Help me!
She's like fucking, you know, flopping all over the place and all this other shit, right? She just came from Publix, right? We're down here in Florida. She's fucking, you know, struggling, and she can barely carry the bags. Would you help her?
Yes.
Yeah.
You would all help her, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Let's say you see an able-bodied man, great shape, etc. He got like 20 bags like this. You just walk in like this. Would you stop him and say, "Hey, do you need help?"
Would you
Yeah.
help me?
Not if he's not struggling at all. No.
He's not struggling. He's like just trucking.
No.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they're-
So imagine that dude that's walking with the bags like this. That's a lot of you single, independent women.
That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's you guys,
That's how.
right?
correct.
Versus
Why would we help you?
why would we help you when you don't need it? So that's how a lot of men think. It's like, okay, girls make their own money. Why the fuck do I need to step up and make a bunch of money? Why do I care? Right? Women need to understand that, like, a lot of the modern conveniences that we have now, a lot of the inventions, a lot of the success that men have, it's derived from their need to compete for women, right? To get attractive women. You guys think we fucking wear Rolexes and drive Lambos and all this shit for dudes? No, if it was up to us, we live in a fucking cardboard box. We don't give a shit about none of that stuff. It's all a status symbol to attract the most women possible. So, when there's no longer that need, right, that impetus or need for men to create, and the women are more self-sufficient, why the fuck are we gonna help y'all?
Yeah.
You make your own money, right? You're strong and independent.
Yeah.
And then you listen to the rap music. You listen to music in general, right? We don't need men, etc.
Sexy red.
You know,
I don't listen to her.
and they
Oh,
poison
baby
you guys
daddy.
even more, right?
don't
To make
listen
you
to her.
realize, oh, all the single ladies, all this shit, and like they put it on a pedestal that you don't need men. So it's in the culture. It's with the women. Women are running around saying that we're strong and independent. We don't need men. So why the hell are guys gonna step up? They don't need to, right?
Right. It's
That's
all
how a lot
about
of
the
guys.
behavior.
It takes a guy like me, right, to sit there and say this is all a bunch of bullshit. You guys don't know nothing. I'm the leader.
Yeah.
For a girl to like be like, oh, okay, now I can finally be with a guy and submit. But it's like, I had to break through so much bullshit to be able to see through the lies to tell you what it really is, right? But most men simply aren't going to do that because they're going to believe what the world tells them. They're going to believe pop culture and all this
the
other shit.
agenda.
You
I
think
listen
it's
to Betty
true?
Wright, man.
Definitely the agenda.
You think it's true that the majority of men don't care about, like, you know, being ambitious and satisfying their potential and shit, aside from how it affects their, you know,
Yeah, they don't.
situation with women?
Yeah, no, they don't. I mean, a lot of guys are addicted to porn. A lot of guys are, you know, just
Sad.
paying for prostitutes. They're, you know, sex dolls is like an emerging marketplace. So, you know, then you look at social media, it's like blunted people's ability to speak properly and coherently. So,
AI.
yeah, AI. So there's a lot of things that are in play, obviously, right? And I don't want to sit here and blame it, but this is just the reality that we're in. So, like, yes, a lot of men aren't necessarily as ambitious. And also, you got to keep in mind, too, ladies, and I talk about this in my book, Why Women Deserve Less. I talk about how feminism effectively doubled the workplace. So if you double the workplace employees, well, guess what? As an employer, you could pay half as much.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be, you go back maybe 60, 70 years ago, you used to be able to sustain a family on one income and have a house.
Correct.
You can't do that anymore.
Right.
And it's because of inflation. It's also because feminism has basically doubled the workforce. So now women are competing with men in these same job markets. And that's why if you look at job markets that women don't dominate, what do they tend to be? They tend to be higher paying and more laborious. Construction work, electrician, plumbing, all these blue collar jobs that women don't want to do, they're still high paying. Why is that? Well, because women aren't in these workplaces anymore. Or sorry, they were never in these workplaces. So they're still able to pay a high wage. So that's kind of what it is. So there's a multitude of different reasons why guys aren't ambitious, but that's a part of it.